This is what we're thinking about. Am I going to do this? Am I really going to do this? See if it's going to work. Uh-uh. Hey folks, it's T2sday. It's halfway through 2025, which is pretty hard to believe. 6 months gone, 6 months ahead. And the goals for today was to have a plan for the second half of the year confirmed and have a lot more big fun. I am going to call those both check marks. There's little asterisks on how it all works out, but I'll talk about both of them. So we've got the development process, that is to say, our simulated full self-driving vehicle, Beevee, the latest developments there, and then planning for the rest of the year. Let's check in first with Beevee. Hey, Beevee, said Slim. I heard him complaining about your driving up in the cafeteria. I thought nobody was here but us, said Beevee. Yeah, nobody's getting paid since democracy fell, said Slim, but the junior devs are just kind of hanging around. So what were they saying, said Beevee, like I care. They were saying your coords are wrong and they don't cover the whole grid and they're not even the same each time you hit the grid. Well, what am I supposed to do, said Beevee. Drive all the way up to the red and freak out? How does that help? Well, said Slim, what if you had a switch to flip so you wouldn't care about red? No way, said Beevee. What if somebody messed with the switch? No, I trust my guts, thank you very much. It was just like a brain surgery, said Slim, so you wouldn't, have to see the red. Wait a minute, said Beevee. Look what I can do. Ha ha ha, said Slim, you look funny. Yeah, okay, said Beevee. But get this, I can hardly see anything in front of me with my eyes like this. Oh, said Slim, so maybe you could go to the edge. Let's try it, said Beevee. So that's Beevee. We resolved some of the problems that Beevee was having, in particular with Beevee's cross-eyed approach to the void, to the red edge. It can, and pretty reliably, pretty repeatably, get the same coordinate system all the way around. That required a whole bunch of cleaning up of when increments happened and so on and so forth. But it's working a lot better. But the overall approach is still very fragile. And, it reminds me of a 3D printer. If you have a 3D printer, when you first start it up and it's beginning to do a print, it calibrates, right? It goes all the way to the end of the x-axis and all the way to the end of the y-axis and all the way to the end of the z-axis to find out where the origin really is so that it can get everything all laid out. And that's what Beevee's doing. Go east, go south, go west, go north. And that's great as long as nothing ever changes and nothing goes wrong and Beevee never slips and a ball doesn't drop on Beevee and knock them off and so on. And beyond that, the all of that localization was only meant to be the first step of a more sophisticated, subtle, and sort of information-rich kind of world model. But that's tough to do at this point, and it leads to the next point, which is the second half pivot for the T2 tile project. And there's this repeating pattern of research that because we're using a cellular automata that scales indefinitely, so it takes up space, and the bigger it is, the more space it takes. And there's a speed of light, in effect, how fast information can move across this thing. And that means when a construction on a cellular automata gets bigger, anything that involves the entire thing gets slower because it takes longer for information to get all the way across whatever the thing is as it grows. And the result of this is, from my point of view, is that just when things start to get interesting, like when the diamond replicator 2 years ago, which we see in the waiting room at the beginning of each live stream, we got a diamond replicator going that really didn't have a whole lot of cheats in it. It was pretty damn pure in a lot of ways. But as a result, when I tried to do multicellularity, it was taking absolutely forever to get to the frontier, to get to something to try and see if it's new. The same thing is happening with Beevee here, that the calibration that we were just seeing a whole bunch of them, that takes over a day of wall clock time to do it once. So when everything was right except it was screwing up in the north, that was like a day to get a data point on that. So the constructs run too slowly to keep developing further, and that's been the frustration. And so, the computing team creed, first be robust, be there, show up, have an answer, then try to make the answer right, and then as efficient as necessary, we deliberately push efficiency to an as-needed third position, which is where robustness usually goes. But now we're going to embrace it for this next step. Second half 2025, as efficient as necessary. So the idea is to take the lessons learned and over, since 2012, 2016, all the stuff with ULAM and MFM, the techniques, the ideas, the HC3, the axons, the growth, all of that stuff, and find hardware to run it on that supports this MIMD, multiple instructions, multiple data, because we want to have lots of events happening literally simultaneously, and the events are of different types of atoms that run different code. So everybody tells me you should be using GPUs, and it's like, thank you. The problem is GPUs want to be doing the same thing all over the place, and what we want for the movable feast is to be able to do different things all over the place. And so we'll find some of that hardware, and we'll just explore what we can do as long as we insist on going fast. So let's see how the rest of it played out, that we had the little coming up teaser at the beginning. Oh, thanks a lot. 1.7 million yen. Hokkaido. Who picked Japan? All right, so I'm going to stop this right here because I wanted to try calling Amex first. Yes, main menu, operator, representative. Sorry, so you're saying when I actually try to make the charge, American Express may try to get in touch with me? Okay, and I was trying to avoid that by calling you right now. Okay, I would like to opt out, unsubscribe to all product marketing. I didn't catch your name. Lou, Lou. Okay, hi Lou, thanks. You have a nice day. So that's it. So the idea is, uh, um, is, am I going to do this? Am I really going to do this? So what we're saying in 10 to 12 weeks, we are going to have found a place for this, found a 20 amp dedicated circuit for it, and we will try to explore how much we can use this power, this 480 cores, to do events, to do event processing. But the big elephant in the room, or the tiny mouse in the room, is the fact that each core, each 10 core, only has 1.5 meg of static RAM. But at least from the point of view of hardware, 1.5 megabytes of RAM per parallel distributed core, they think that's generous. They think that's a ton. I think it's microscopic, but it's the first one that I thought maybe I could work with it. Am I going to do this? I'm old. Have I mentioned to be starting on a new adventure like this? But Southwest furthers. What do you say? Shall we do it? See if it's going to work. Order. All right. It is done. It is done. So there it is. We are going to have, hopefully, in 10 to 12 weeks, again, assuming Tens Torrent doesn't ship early or be incredibly delayed, which seems more likely to me, they are shipping the black hole boards, the cards. They are shipping individual cards now. People are starting to get them and do little stand-up reviews on YouTube and so on and so forth. But the actual quiet boxes with all the liquid cool and because I don't want to deal with any of that. I want something that has the greatest chance of getting working quickly so that I can, as quickly as possible, move to software level issues and not mess around with hardware ones. The goals for next time: get Beevee running on the T2 matrix, and release Ulam 6. There's been a ton of development that's happened on Ulam over the last couple of years. That's all been sort of technically called Ulam 5 or 5.1, 5.2. It's time to wrap all that stuff up and get it out. Plan the box for the quiet box. That's what it's called, the Tens Torrent quiet box, because it's liquid cooled, and so on, and have more big fun. So I am nervous about starting to work on the quiet box, starting to work on the black hole cards, but also excited, just to see how much stuff I can get him to do like that. It's all wide open. I have no idea about what the best design is going to be or what anything is going to be. I'm hoping that maybe I could make it a little bit more, have a little more interactive setup stuff, maybe some kind of Twitch or whatever kind of thing like that, but we'll see. That's what's coming up in the second half of 2025. Thank you so much for checking in whenever you stop to take a look at this, and I hope to see you next time.